Hello everyone, welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorials number 163. Today, after 4 years, we revisit Google Sites, focusing on updates and new features. We last covered the basics of Google Sites way back in 2018, when Sites had recently changed to the new version. It's grown a lot since then, incorporating a lot of changes. That video is old, but the content is still pretty solid, so we're going to leave that there. We cover the following topics if you want to refer to that video: creating a site, modifying the site header, inserting basic content like text, some layout, basics on themes, a little bit more on layout in different sections of the page, inserting new pages, embedding a calendar, looking at your menu navigation, and finally sharing and publishing. For this video, we'll go into a few features and updates related to content, such as inserting Drive content, including folders, embedding content via links, Embed Code, also embedding maps, and even audio. Then we're going to take a look at image carousels, collapsible text, and placeholders. We'll do a third video later that includes more advanced settings like image. We'll do a part 3 with more advanced tips and tricks with Google Sites at a later date. Okay, for this example, I'm going to use my sandbox site. It's good to have a sandbox site. It's just basically a site that you have where you practice some things and you play around a bit. So one of the things I mentioned that we could do is insert a Google Drive folder. And I made a page for us to do that on. Go over to the Insert menu. You'll notice that there's also pages and themes over here, but we're going to stick to Insert. And in the 4 icons over here, you're going to see Drive. By the way, if you double click on the page, you'll get those same 4 icons here. When you choose from Drive, notice that you can choose your drive, shared drives, or things that have been shared with you. You can also click on the icon to toggle between bulleted list or thumbnails. I'm going to choose a demo folder, and let's say our demo training files folder. Don't double click it or else it'll open it up. Just single click it to select it and then choose Insert at the bottom. It'll drop in that folder and allow you to resize that component on the page. Now, this is really strong because once it's here, you can click on the gear icon to adjust a few little settings, like whether you want it to be list view or grid view, which shows thumbnails. Now, it's important to note that this is embedded content, meaning that while someone may be able to see your website, they may not have the permissions to see the embedded content because it's coming from somewhere else, and it uses its own permissions as well. So make sure you check your permissions for your Google Drive files and folders to make sure that they correspond with the same permissions you've got with Google Sites. If I'd like to test it, there is a nice little preview button up here at the top. I do not have to hit publish yet. If I don't want to, I can just click preview and see what it would look like when published. Then I can come in here and open up items, and you'll see that it opens up the actual file. But also I can come in and open up folders, and it'll then go in and open up those folders for me. You can exit the preview by hitting the little X icon in the black bar at the bottom. Other Drive content can include single files, so presentations, spreadsheets, anything like that. So for example, if I wanted to insert my Inbox 0 presentation, I can do that. And again, each embedded item comes with a nice little settings button. The settings button pulls up settings that are contextual to the thing that you're clicking on. So this is a presentation. It lets me auto start it, loop playback, things like that. Of course, all of them can be resized, moved around just like you would a text box or a picture. Now, the really strong thing about embedding Google Drive content into a Google site is, of course, that you only have to update the item itself. You don't have to come back and update your Google site if you would like to make some changes. So you might have a presentation here on your, let's say, teacher site, where you might include a Google folder that has all of your presentations for your class for each of your periods. You only then have to maintain that folder in Google Drive, and it's automatically going to be shown here, which means you do a lot less work on your website. Another thing you can embed are Google Maps, and this is actually really strong. People don't use this very much, but if you come over here into your Insert menu, you can choose a map. It's going to ask you for the location of whatever you want to put in there. So if I needed to, I can come in here and put in the King and Prince Hotel, St. Simon's Island. That'll bring that in, and I can resize it. I can make it take up the full width of the page if I wanted to, and whenever I preview it, it works. Get directions, do all that kind of stuff you would normally do with Google Maps, and it'll just open it up in any window once I select what I want to do with it. Again, this is embedded content, so this is really Google Maps within a window that's on your page. In addition to regular Google Maps, you can also insert maps that you have created using My Maps, which is part of Google. And in there you can put overlays and all sorts of stuff like that. So we have one here for our RISA districts. I can come in here and open this one up, expand it, and that then actually has place marks and overlays to show the different counties and what RISA they're in and what were their enrollment as of FY19. This is a little bit outdated, but yeah, this is a really strong feature. Each of these sections here are different county outlines that are done by shape tools within the My Maps option. We'll cover that in a different Tech Tuesday, I'm sure. One of the little known things that you can embed is audio, and that's only if you do it from your Google Drive because it builds in its own player. Like many interactive components, you really can't view them while they're in edit mode, but if you preview your page, the player loads and you can then click on it. To do this, you basically have to have a file in Google Drive. Ideally, it's like an MP3 file. And you then right click on the file and get the link for that file. Make sure that it's set to anyone can view. Copy that link and then just embed it. Again, like anything else, you can double click, choose embed, paste that URL, and then insert it. After a moment or so, you'll get that nice little widget and you can resize it so that it fits the size of the player and then place it wherever you'd like it to be. Of course, you can combine that with text items and things like that to be more descriptive. Again, we'll preview it. And there you go. Now this is particularly helpful for teachers who may be working with kids who have to do reading and you need to record those, particularly if you want to record maybe like a student portfolio and you want to show how they've been progressing over time and you want it to be able to be played right there. Could be for music or band and you want to be able to play back some audio of the students getting progressively better or things like that. Other kinds of items you can embed are links. So let's say I've got a book here that I published. And it's just something I messed around with Book Creator, and I wanted to get this in there. I could copy that. Let's say that this was the shared link here, and I wanted it to display on my website. I can double click, go to the embed, or click embed from the insert grouping over here. That's fine. And then choose by URL, put in the URL, and some sites will let you do the entire page and it'll dynamically update that and do a full screen of the whole page there, including the share buttons and everything else. But other ones will restrict what you can do and they'll just create a preview, static preview, which is just a JPEG of it with a link to it and a small description of the page so that whenever they preview that, you'll click that and it'll go to that item. It all depends on the website and what their permissions are. Prezi is one such site that limits you to just a preview unless you go and you get the embed code from them. And they have instructions on their website on how to do that. It's a little bit complicated, but when you get to this page, you can copy that embed code. You've probably seen embed code on other websites before. You can customize the height and the width of the embed code, copy it, and then when you go into your Google site, you simply double click, choose embed, and choose embed code as your option and paste that embed code. And of course, the height and width is all predefined here, but you can change those numbers if you need to. And then hit next and then insert. And then that gives you an item here that will then be visible and live on your site, again embedded. So again, it follows the permissions of whatever item you're sharing. So that's how you basically do embed content. You either insert it if it's Google stuff, or you choose the embed code and link it as an item or link it using the embed code. One somewhat new feature is the ability to put in image carousels, and that's under the insert menu. Underneath the content blocks, you'll see a few other things here. Image carousel is the third one. And when you come here, it says it has to have at least 2 images. Basically what it does is it creates a little cyclable gallery for images. When you come over here and click on the plus sign, you can choose to upload or select images. So you can upload from your computer or select images from your Google Drive, or by URL, or by Google Image Search, or by your Photos app. There's a bunch of different places you can go and get that with. So if I scroll down and I think I have some sample images I had down here. There we go. These will be good. I can select all of these by clicking them one at a time or holding down the Shift button as I click them, and then I'll choose Insert. I'm not sure if it's going to work with this animated GIF, but we'll see. Oh, looks like it will. Awesome. So I'll hit Insert, and it shows one image, but it will then continue to cycle through the rest of the images as I click it. So let's preview that. By the way, anything that is dynamic like this, that you would click and interact with doesn't work while you're in editing mode. You do have to go and click the preview button or publish it. So this is one, and then I can go to the other images in the gallery here. Now, they are cut and cropped based on the dimensions that I set out, and that is done on the page as well. So I can stretch that if I need to, and it will automatically crop that image to fit the dimensions. That can cut off some important information sometimes, so you have to be a little bit careful on how that's done, like this. It does seem to cut or crop it from the center, and there really isn't much you can do about that. It is what it is, so be careful with certain images here where the most valuable information is not in the center of the picture. In addition to image carousels, you can also do collapsible groups. So what is a collapsible group? It's when you have a header or something and then you want to put in some information like so, but you don't want it to take up a lot of space on the page. You'd like for it to be collapsible. That means kind of like an accordion. And so when I click off of that, it's going to automatically collapse that bit of information. So if I preview this, I can then click to expand it or click to retract it. By default, everything will be retracted with a little down arrow here for inviting people to click and expand it. It's a good way of getting a lot of information in a nice tight little spot that doesn't look too busy. You can also now put placeholders, and placeholders are basically, placeholders for different type of content. If you click on the gear, you can choose what type of content, and you can say, there will be a Google slide here, and I will make it about like this size. I can also then go in and get another placeholder, drag it and place it where I want, and I can come in here and say, this is going to be something else, like I need it to be a YouTube video or a Google Drive folder or an image. The great thing about that is that it defines that type, so when they click on it, it's going to invite them to find a Google slide or invite them, in this case, to upload or select an image, and it will keep it within that constraint. This is really good when you're setting up templates for people or helping students out with what's supposed to go where. Sites can be copied, so you can go in here and choose make a copy, and that's pretty handy. Okay, so that's about all that we have for the second part of Google Sites. I hope you liked this. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and click that like button. Why not support us and click that subscribe button? Click the bell icon to receive email notifications, leave a comment or an idea for a Tech Tuesday video below. Share this video with your friends, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.